Let's talk about something that causes so many people's credit scores to drop. Sturgis Credit Repair is a 5-star rated online credit repair company. We help people just like you build or rebuild their credit scores. If you have no credit history, we offer products to help you build credit history so that you never have to depend on anyone co-signing for you. If you have bad credit, enroll into our service today and allow us to work on the negative items affecting your credit scores. We take no money up front, so start our service today for free. You'll get updated through your online account as well as receiving updates through your email. For those who are trying to buy a home, we're partnered with multiple real estate agents and loan officers who are ready to assist you with your goals. If you are a real estate agent, loan officer, or anyone dependent on customers with good credit, create a free partner account with us today. You can manually send or receive clients through your online account as well as track their progress before they go to someone else. Visit our website to learn more about our services. So this will be a super quick episode on how credit card utilization work. I know there can be a lot of wrong information out there regarding how credit cards work and how they report on a monthly basis. So like I said, this is going to be a real quick episode just explaining how credit cards work, when they report, how they're calculated every month, and how they affect your credit scores. So let's move into it. So credit card utilization is reported whenever somebody leaves a balance on the statement closing date. It does not matter how much or how often you use your credit card throughout the month. It only matters on the statement closing date, which is usually about 3 to 5, sometimes 7 days, depending on the credit card company, that many days after the due date. So for example, one of my Capital One credit cards is due every month on the 15th, and then on the 18th, the statement closing date occurs, which means that's the date that they report my balances to the credit bureaus. So let's start out with some examples here. Let's say somebody have a 500 credit limit credit card. So out of that $500, let's say the statement closing date is today, and they have a $250 balance on their credit card today, which is the statement closing date, which is, if you listen, is the date that the bank reports your balance to the credit bureaus. So they have a $250 balance and a $500 credit limit. So it is going to report as a 50% utilization rate to the credit bureaus, which is going to drop your score a pretty good bit. Let's go down and say somebody has 3 credit cards. Out of the 3 credit cards, they all have $500 credit limits, which is a total of $1,500. And let's say let's just make it simple. Let's say 2 out of the 3 credit cards have a $50 balance on it, and 1 credit card has a $400 limit. Let's just say that. So $50, $50, and $400. So that's a total of $500 worth of balances on this person's credit card. So another thing to keep in mind, when credit card balances or credit card limits are reported to your credit reports, it doesn't matter how many credit cards you have or what's the limit on each one. If you look in your credit report, it's a total credit limit and a total utilization. So it's going to show you how many accounts you have, but the types of credit cards really doesn't matter. So if you have 3 credit cards with $500, yes, it's going to show 3 credit cards with $500 credit limits, but that's not important on credit reports. What's important is the total amount. So out of all 3 of those cards with $500 balances, your credit limit on your credit report is going to be $1,500 because that's all of your credit cards. And your balance is reported, let's say today is the statement closing date again. And again, you got a $50 balance on 1 card, $50 balance on card number 2, and then $400 on card number 3. That's going to be a total of $500 out of all 3 cards. It doesn't matter how many cards you have, what's the balances on each card. It only goes by a total amount. So $500 divided into $1,500 is 33%, which means you're going to have a 33% utilization for this month until your cars report again next month. One thing to keep in mind, you may hear this pretty often in the credit card world, is that you need to keep 30% on your credit card. That is a myth. You don't need to keep 30% of your card. You don't have to spend up to 30% of your card's limit to have it reporting good. What happens is the goal is to have a zero utilization rate every single month. However, life happens and some people may have emergencies and they can't pay their card off in full every single month. So what happens is a lot of times if you go to finance something like a mortgage loan or a car loan or apply for another credit card, most of your banks prefer you to be under 30% utilization, which means you're only utilizing 30% of your credit limit, or you only have 30% of your credit limit unpaid. So in the bank's eyes, they see that you're not relying on your credit card to pretty much pay your bills every single month, or you're struggling to pay your card off in full. Banks understand things happen in life and you can't afford to pay off your card every single month. Last month you may have had an emergency, now you have a small balance on your card. Well, if it's under 30%, 9 times out of 10, they're still going to approve you for that loan. That does not mean keep 30% on your credit card, because if you leave a 30% balance on there, that's interest that you're paying on your card. That's free money the bank is making off of you. So here's how I use my credit cards, and here's how you should use your credit cards. Let's say you have a $500 limit on one credit card and the due date is on the 15th of every month. And the statement closing date is on the 18th of every month, just like one of my Capital One credit cards. So all month long, you can max that card out, spend it however you want to. Now, here comes the 14th, the day before the due date. I'm going to pay that card off in full so that it's a $0 balance on the due date, which is the 15th, the very next day. And I'm not going to get charged interest on any unpaid balances, and the bank isn't making free money off of me. Now, on the 15th, which is the due date, I now have a zero balance. I'm not getting charged any interest. And then I'm going to leave my credit card at a $0 balance until after the statement closing date, which is the 18th. So I'm going to pay it off in full by the 15th. I'm going to leave it at 0 the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And on the 19th, I'm going to start back using that credit card however I want to. I'm going to max it out. I'm going to not use it at all. Whatever I do, I make sure to leave a $0 balance on the statement closing date so that it reports that it's paid in full and I have no unpaid balances on the statement closing date for the month. And it makes my credit report look, super clean. So a lot of times people may pay their card off in full by the due date, and the very next day after the due date, they go back maxing their card out and they say, hey, Chris, I pay my credit cards off in full every month. I'm not being charged interest. Why is my credit score dropping every single month because, of my credit cards? However, I pay my cards off in full. That's because people pay the card off in full, they do the right thing, and they max their card out the very next day or two. And here comes the statement closing date in a few days, and it's reporting those new balances on there. So one of the things to take away from this episode is to pay your card off in full every month. Keep it at 0 until after the statement closing date. The easiest way to find out when that date is to either contact your bank or log into your online credit card account and just go to statements. It's going to say something like January 1st through February 15th. So if that's the case, February 15th is going to be the statement closing date. That last date of the billing cycle is the statement closing date. That's the date that they report your balances on your credit card to the credit bureau. So hopefully this episode have kind of educated you on how to pay your credit cards off in full every month and how to allow them to report every month and how they affect your credit score. So again, the goal is to have a 0% utilization every single month. You start getting even from maybe 1% may hurt, but 2% all the way up, it's going to drop your score more and more and more depending on how much utilization is reporting every month to your credit report. So as always, if you have more questions after listening or watching this episode, feel free to ask. Thank you. If this video helped you, be sure to like it, comment, share it, and subscribe to this channel for more helpful videos like this one. Thanks for watching.